Hey, what's up guys? I spent some time recently designing, modeling, texturing, and shading this new painted style character. Throughout this video, I'll show you what my process was like, and I also even added a quick little bonus tutorial at the end talking about a simple lighting setup. So without further ado, now let's start, and I hope this video inspires you. But first, before we go into making the character, we first need to start out with ideation, as there's infinite possibilities of what could be created here. For my characters, I first always like to figure out what my face and hair will be like, as these are the most important parts of the character when starting out. For the hair, I decided I wanted it to be a curly hairstyle because I had been wanting to do something like that for a while. If you compare curly hair to regular straight hair in grayscale, you'll notice the pattern of light on it is just very bumpy and appealing to the eye visually, which is why I thought it would be fun. Now for the face, I just wanted something pretty and chill, so I gathered some references of faces I liked and wanted to take inspiration from. And with that, now it's actually time to make the face and the hair. So, as usual, I'm starting out with a base mesh I modeled previously to save some time. I gave it a beige base color, and I added an outline to the model as well because it helps me to see the contours a bit easier. I added in an eye using a sphere and put it into the eye socket, and modeled the top of her mouth as well as the teeth, as I wanted her to have a nice smile. I also then created an eyelash above the eye, and these are just the main parts of the face that I like to block out first. Now, I'm going to keep the eyes a white color slightly tinted to beige, and keep the center of the eye a dark black to start out with. Now look guys, what we have here is the ugly stage where things don't look that good yet, but it's always important to push through phases like this. So let's continue. I then blocked out the eyebrows, drew in a crease above the eye area as well, and added in some small strands to the brow area. I darkened around the eye area because it's another very important landmark, and started laying in some redness for the lips as well. So as you can see, I'm just starting off light overall and then making things harsher as I go. Right now, I'm just trying to define the general shape of things. I then colorized the eye as well, making sure that the bottom was brighter than the top. I then decided to change her expression to be a smile, just to make it a little more interesting than what I normally do with regular blank expressions, and as a result of that, I had to move the teeth around quite a lot until it started to look better. I then added some highlights to the face in a variety of locations, like around the inner eyes, the nose area, on top of the nose as well, and from there I just did some more slight detailing to finish it out for now. Okay, now it's time to add the hair. I'm going to start out by adding in a path curve as well as a Bezier circle, which I then like to turn into a diamond shape. From there, I just had the path curve use that circle, and then I started blocking out the hair itself. Curly hairstyles are a bit harder than regular ones for obvious reasons. You can see me here really trying to make sure I tilt the hair curve points a lot, so that we get that nice curly look on the hair. Moreover, at the ends of the hair, sometimes I made it even extra curvy, like these ones, which meant I just had to extrude a bunch of points going in a loop, which was pretty fun. Okay, so now we have our hairstyle thus far, but we're not even close to being done yet. We now have to texture our hair like we did for the face, which first involved a bunch of unwrapping of course, but that's boring, so let's just move forward to the texturing part. So mainly for the hair, I started out by just texture painting in streaks frequently throughout the model. I did this because if you actually look at curly hair, the lighting on the strands oscillates from bright, dark, bright, dark, so I was just trying to emulate that reality within the art that I was making. Okay, so now with the base of our face as well as the hair done, we can now move on to blocking out the clothing. But before we do that, let's talk about the idea behind the design. As an elegant character, I wanted her to wear some sort of jacket or blazer, so I picked one of those. I made sure it had a collar to help it look more detailed and formal, and had the ends of the sleeves be white, to balance against the sea of orange, which would be the main color of her clothing. I wanted there to be a skirt as well, but made sure to give it some type of pleating so that it wouldn't look plain and boring. And of course, a belt in the center to give it a nice shine. For the boots and leggings, I initially was just going to make them really tall boots, but decided instead to do shorter boots with leggings, which I thought looked nicer. Now, let's actually make the clothing. So, for the jacket, I didn't go too crazy and just made it hug the body so it would be easy to work with. I made a collar for it as well by extruding the top out, and after that was done, I made a simple base model for her dress and for now set it to black. The next step was to make it more detailed and pleated, I think that's the word, and so I did this by beveling out a lot of edge loops on it to make it look more intriguing. Now one last thing to block out was the shoes, so I just blocked them out really quickly, and even added in some laces, just like this. Around this point, the jacket was looking really stiff and not lively enough, so I decided to spruce up its life a bit by adding in some much nicer folds full of character and all of that great stuff. For me, I personally always like to make my clothing folds by beveling out edges and puffing them, which is just most intuitive. And eventually, after some fighting, I had a base model done for my clothing, which will be good for now. Now, it's time to texture the clothing. So to start things out, I literally just gave it an orange tint overall and set the shadows to be purplish, which I know from experience tends to look nice. And after that, I went ahead and started drawing in detail onto the clothing. The point here is to make it look richer by adding in detail and additional folds and that sort of stuff. Okay, so now with some basic texturing done for our jacket, I wanted to now do the same thing for our skirt. So to the best of my ability, I continued drawing in detail, and all that you're seeing now is what I like to call my initial detailing phase. And after done with this, I rest my eyes for a bit and come back to it later so that, you know, if you just look at it for a really long period of time, you'll get kind of numb to it. But if you wait and then come back later, you'll be able to see it freshly and able to make more changes and have a better idea of how to improve it more. So after some time looking away from it, I got back to work and just continued refining things even more. And I also played around by making it look more textured, which I think helped a bit. I also decided to detail in the neck and clavicle area a bit more here, or at least block it out for the time being, so that it blended better with the rest of the skin. And after that, I just worked on adding a few more details to the skirt. Okay guys, so before we go any further, I have something really important to say, which is that the creation of this character is soon going to be added as a full guided course on my masterclass. So if you want an in-depth tutorial for making painted style characters like this, it will all hopefully be there soon. If you're watching this in the future, it's probably already been released, so check it out. If you don't know what my masterclass is, you can check it out on ukorose.io. It teaches you my full process for making things like environment scenes, characters, assets, beautiful scenes, all in Blender. And it's also an awesome community. We don't only talk about making stuff in Blender, but we also talk about the design and observation skills that are really important, because just knowing how to press the buttons isn't enough. You also have to know about how to design things properly and all of that. So you can check it out in the description, and let's get back to the video now. Alright, now one of my favorite things to add on my clothing are patterns. So what I decided to do was play around with some wave textures, and with this I was able to make a cool checkered pattern for her clothing. Okay, we now have the base of everything done, so I decided it was now time for accessories. On a lot of designs for this type of jacket, I saw emblems and badges, so I made my own one on here, and while I initially wanted it to be on her shirt, you'll later see me put it on her skirt instead. I also modeled a chain and positioned that around her neck and created a heart that I could then use for this necklace. From here on out, there were other loose ends I had to tie up, such as the hands, which I blocked out at this point. Now of course I gave a lot more attention to the face while making this model, so I'm still working more on the hands currently as I speak. But you'll see here, overall it's a similar process of outlining the forms. For her legs, I decided to give her leggings, so I did that as well by using patterns once again, wave textures, but made sure to keep the top of it opaque. Okay, so now this was the point in making the work of having everything blocked out, but still not done. So I just tried multiple other things to add more details to it. It's really just a lot of thinking at this stage, especially if you're someone like me who designs their own characters rather than working off some specific concept, because you're really just trying to figure out like how far you could push it. Now, let's talk a bit about adding lighting to the skin specifically, which requires a lot of care. You can see here when I first add in the lighting, different from the other parts of the body and clothing and accessories, it kinda kills the handmade feel a bit if you don't change or work on it at all. So I just worked on it more. I worked around with an extra lighting mask for the face specifically. I also made an in-model compositing group, continued detailing the face a bit, did some other stuff with the rest of the clothing. I also made it so that the face and the body had a different lighting strength to make things easier to tweak and adjust individually. And I did that using a gradient. And okay guys, so here is our result. Of course, I also fully rigged the character and did all of that good stuff as well, and I'm excited to use it in an animation soon. Do keep in mind, for a style like this, of course there will always be some tweaking you have to do for whatever scene you're working on, so that you can match your character to the visual development of the scene, which could be changing the colors, changing the lighting values, all of that good stuff. Now with all of that done, let's do a quick tutorial about making a stylized light and rim light setup. Before we do this though guys, if you're completely new to shader nodes, I recommend you check out my complete beginner's tutorial, or at least the shaders part of it, because I teach the basics of how everything works over there. Okay guys, so I'm here in a new file. The first thing I'm going to do is just delete the camera and this point light here. So I'll delete that. I'm going to go to rendered view immediately so we can just see what everything looks like in final shading. from the get-go. I'm going to actually hit Shift A and add in a light initially. I'll add in a sunlight, which you can just rotate around a little bit, just like that. And I'm actually going to set the color of this light to red. So I'm going to hit RGB here and just set green and blue to 0 so that it's just all red. You probably won't understand right now why I'm doing this, but you will soon, so don't worry. Strength, I'm going to set it to something higher, like 11, something like that is good, I think, maybe like 10.5. Now I'm going to go to the shader editor with my cube selected. Now for material, I'm going to just get rid of this principled BSDF, just like that. I'm going to hit Shift A, search, and add an RGB node. And this is going to be our base color, so you can set that to whatever you want. Maybe just like a neutral color, something like this. Now the next thing we want to do is actually add lighting to this. So we're going to add the main lighting system first, then we'll add the rim lighting system second. So this is going to be pretty easy. Once again guys, watch my complete beginner's tutorial if you don't know how any of this node stuff works, because I explained the basics there. So I'm going to hit Shift A, search for a diffuse BSDF, a shader to RGB, and then a color ramp node. And this is going to give us our base lighting. Once again, it's something I talk about in my complete beginner's tutorial. But yeah, so we have this here. If I shift control click it, you can view what it's doing, which is nothing initially, but we can play around with these flags here and set it to whatever colors we want. So maybe you want it to be, I don't know, orange tint for your light, so you would set that here. I'm going to switch this back to HSV because it's like easier to use. And for value, you'd increase it to like 2.5. And so now you have like a bright sun color, bright warm color. Then in the shadow, you can set it to something bluish maybe if that's what you want. And then what you do is you would take this RGB, drag it out, and literally just multiply it by this lighting setup, right? So now if we plug this in here to the surface, you can see we can slide how powerful we want this to be. If we set it to 0, we just have our base color. But then when we enable it, you can see it now kind of multiplies the base color by this lighting system. So for example, if we took this highlight color here and we set it to blue, you can see now it's affecting the highlight color as blue, just like that. What's really cool is what we can do is now just select all of this, hit Control G to put it into a group. And by the way, you hit tab to go in and out of a group, so that's the key, you hit tab. Now here we're just going to rename it to main light. And now if we, for example, add a sphere or something like that, I'm just going to right click shade smooth. Let's add a new material, get rid of the principled BSDF once again, use an RGB, and let's just take this by Control C to copy it and paste it here and just plug it in. You can see now if we tab into this group, we can affect it for pretty much both of these materials, right, very easily. Just like that, you can affect it. You can drag up this flag. And now, so you have a lighting that you can easily kind of adjust what the highlight and shadow colors are. Okay, so now for the rim light. This is also going to be pretty straightforward overall. First thing I'm going to do actually is just position my lighting so it's more like this, so that we have space to even add our rim light in the first place, because I want it to be kind of like on the side here. And anyways, what we'll do is hit Shift A. We're going to add another sun. I'm going to set this sun to be blue instead of red. So for red and green, I'm just going to set it to 0. Now we have just blue. And the strength I'll just leave at 1 for this rim light. Now let's go back here. What we're going to do is pretty much the same thing as what we did before, except a little bit different. So I'm actually just going to copy this diffuse BSDF and shader to RGB just to save some time. So let's just paste it out here. And after shader to RGB, what we want to do instead is drag out a separate color node. So now we can separate our lighting colors, which you can see we have a blue one and we have a red light, right? So this is the red one we added first. This is our blue one. We can basically separate them now. So we have red for our main light, blue for our rim light. For our rim light, we can just drag out this blue one and then plug that into a color ramp just like we did previously. And so now if I shift control click this, for example, you can see we are only going to see the blue light on it because like that's what it's doing, right? Like it's separating out just the blue. You can see if we switch this to red, for example, which was our first light, now it's showing you the first one, right? So we have a red light and a blue light, just like that. I hope that makes sense. And so what we do from here on out, there's actually a lot of ways you can do this, but the way I like to do it personally is to drag this out to a screen node, so type in screen, just like that. Screen is basically adding, so it's just going to take whatever we had previously and then just add in this blue light. So let's plug this into B. And if we plug this into surface, you'll see what's happening right now is it's taking that blue light and it's pretty much using that as another separate light, right? So if I go here, for rim lights, by the way, you only want to really adjust the highlight color. So I'll set this to, let's see, maybe we want the rim light to be red or something, or blue maybe. Maybe blue is cool. But yeah, it's hard to really preview here, but let's just take this now. just like this, and just like we did before, I'm going to hit Ctrl G to put it into a group, and I'm just going to rename this rim light over here. I'm going to hit Shift A, search rim light, put this here, and so now for both of our materials they have the rim light system set up, and you can see already it's working. Now I actually decided to replace the cube with a torus because the cube was just like hard to see the lighting on, but anyways, I just pasted over the same exact material. And so you can see, guys, this is how it works. It's really fun to play around with and fun to use. You could also tab into your rim light group and even adjust the sharpness of the lighting just like this really easily. And you can still adjust all of your other sliders on the main light and stuff like that, which is just pretty awesome. Now, of course, for those of you guys in my masterclass, I'll go way more in depth because making a character's lighting system is a lot more involved. Especially for the face and the skin, there's a lot more that goes into it. So I'm going to show you how to build one from the ground up there as well, but yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see my process for another painted style character, you can check out this video in the description. Have an awesome day.